further expand upon the presentation of the gun, whether it's from the draw or the high ready, we want to prep that trigger when we get acceptable muzzle alignment. So in this case, with this target I have in front of me, I have a fairly large, what we call acceptable accuracy zone. That means the acceptable accuracy zone is such that if I were the target right now, that anywhere between here, 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 any shot in this region, this zone, has equal value. So taking extra time to hit right center is no more valuable than just hitting it on the edge. So this brings into the balance of speed and accuracy. Do we want to take extra time and get a nice little dead center shot? Well, no, because time has a lot of value. So if we have acceptable accuracy, meaning the muzzle, we know it's sufficiently aligned within this zone, and we send it, then that works. We got speed and we got acceptable accuracy. So let's bring this into context with just presenting the gun. With a very large acceptable accuracy zone like I have before me right now, I can basically almost send it this quick. All right, so you can see that I'm sending it, or I'm sending it. I can be in an awkward shooting position. I can go from the draw and send it. And they're well within that acceptable accuracy zone. I spoke earlier of the fundamentals that our sighting system, we have a natural point of aim with our grip and stance, and we have sights in combination with very strict trigger control. Well, with a big acceptable accuracy zone like this, I can send it very aggressively. Now what I want to do, I still want to exercise some trigger finger discipline and prep that trigger and break it at the appropriate time. I prep that trigger when I know I'm reasonably lined up in that acceptable accuracy zone, and then I break it very shortly thereafter. Do I have perfect trigger mechanics? Do I have a perfect break without any laser sweep? Probably not perfect. I strive for perfection, but I don't necessarily need it with this very large target. Let's go to the other extreme. Let's look at this second target now, where it is much further away, and by the nature of it being further away, it's a smaller cone of deviation, which means a smaller acceptable accuracy zone. Because the acceptable accuracy zone is a combination of the size of the target and its distance. Obviously, the further you go away, the more sights you need, the more difficult the target. But also a closer target that's a high percentage target, you know, it's a very small area, that's going to have a very tight acceptable accuracy zone too, even if it's a few feet away. Anyways, if a difficult target such as this, as I present out from the high ready, I'm going to have to get a lot more sights on this gun, a lot more muzzle awareness by way of the sights, and prep that trigger to the nth degree, all right, as soon as I'm getting right dialed into that zone, and then break, send it. Now you notice I did a little bit of a breath there. Breathing is a fundamental. It's not as critical in pistol craft as, say, like prone shooting and such, but we can't ignore it. In combat accuracy and such, breathing as a fundamental is simple as just remember to breathe. But when you're taking a difficult shot and you're doing your training, it's really not a bad idea to get in that habit of sending a breath out and get that little bit extra relaxation, get in that rhythm a little bit, and send that round. Are you going to do that consciously in a gunfight or high-stress situation or competition? No, but you don't do anything consciously in those situations. That's why we're training. That's why we're building this high volume in.